Good evening, everybody. Thank you all for attending this webinar. Um, Glad that you have joined, and we're just waiting for one or two more people to come in. 1 or 2 more minutes, rather. Um, we would like a couple of people to come in before we start. So I'm just waiting for 2 minutes more. We're just waiting for 2 minutes more so that we allow a few more people to come in. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for making it here. Um, right, my name is Dion, and I'm going to start the webinar right away. Give me a couple of minutes. So before I start off, I just would like, I'm going to unmute all of you. Okay, so I'm going to unmute all of you so you can discuss. Let me start my webcam so you can see me. All right. Um, just a second. Right, so you can see me and you can see the presentation. So let me start sharing my screen. All right. Okay, so before we start off, I just want to launch a few polls just to know a little bit about you. First thing that I want to know is this. Do you already have an account on DQ Edge? Do you have an account on DQH? Please answer this. Yeah, okay. That's that. The second one I want to know is this one. Which class are you in? Some of you in class 11, some of you in class 12. All right. All right. And now I'm going to ask you one more question, which is this. Are you already a student of DQ Labs? Just want to know if you're a student or not. Okay, so half of you are, half of you are not. And I'm going to close that poll. And the next one I'm asking is this.
कहाँ जा रहा है? दोस्त ये तो खुद को क्या तो ले ले काजा पैसा चाहते हैं.
All right. Have you taken a full length test? Okay. All right. I got your answers over there. Rohit, I would like you to send this link to Neha. I think she's having some trouble getting on. So please send this link to Neha so that she attends. Okay. Right. So thank you for taking these polls, all of y'all. And it's interesting because of course we see half of you over here are from DQ Labs, half of you are not from DQ Labs yet. And if I look at the poll, all of y'all have an account on DQ Edge. Okay. Uh, all of y'all have an account on DQ Edge, but barely any of you have taken a whole full length test. So the first thing what I want all of y'all to do is whether you're preparing for NID or NIFT, either ways, the first thing I want you to do is come down to practice, come down to DQ Edge, create your account here, select either your fashion program or design program. Let me click this, click on past year question papers. Um, all of you who are doing a BDES or targeting this, I want you to come to this test, the NID BDES paper 2019. I want you to take section 1, okay, which is the aptitude. And interestingly, when you take section 1, do all of you know, have you all sat for my session before where I speak about how to answer a test on DQ Edge? Are you all familiar with that? There is a small little questions pane which you can type in your question. And I would like you to tell me whether you're comfortable, whether you know how to take the test on. Okay, fine. Right. So I'll come down to that. So yeah, I'm getting a few no's. So I will come down to that. I'll get back with you on that. Hold on. So that's an interesting thing. So I need this kind of feedback. Okay. So when I have this feedback, I can address these questions. So at all points of time, you need to keep giving me this feedback. Okay. So Pranati, Arya, you're not sure how to take the test. No problem. Come down to your past year question papers. Come down to this NID BDES paper. Take the aptitude test. Take the sketching test as well. If you click on section 2 sketching, there's a question here. And what you need to do is This is a question. This is what you need to do. This is what your sketch would be rated on. So you need to do the sketch and upload your file. And that's when you're done with your submission. Please note there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sketching questions. All 6 you need to do. You need to answer all these 22 aptitude questions, and you have only 3 hours to do both sections. Okay, that's it. 3 hours for both sections. I need you to do one test, take it up, ask us for feedback, and we will give you that feedback. Okay, whether you're a DQ Lab student or not, that is a critical first step, right? So great. So I will come down to this. Um, right. So this is our webinar. Right. So our webinar topic today is how do you crack NID and NIFT and UCEED 2022 or 2021? What do you do in the next 12 months, 6 months, 12 months, 18 months? How exactly do you need to manage your time so that you are able to crack this exam, right? That is the question. And that's a question that everybody is asking, and it's make present panelist. Hold on. I've got Neha here as well. I'm adding her as a panelist. So she's there here. Right. So now it's a burning question. How do you utilize your time over the next 12 months or 18 months or 6 months to crack this exam, right? So let me start off with this presentation. A little background before we start off with this presentation so that you know who we are. We're DQ Labs. We nurture talent for creative careers. That means we identify people who are talented and we nurture that talent till they get into a career. Okay. Um, we've been founded by Umesh and Sean. Umesh is an architect and a designer from IIT Delhi. He's a TEDx speaker. He's worked with Jaguar Land Rover in the UK. Similarly, with Sean, engineer and a designer from IIT Delhi, worked with General Motors and all the global brands. And both of them are the founders of DQ Labs and Xamplay. Okay, and they've been mentoring students since 2006 to get through these exams. Xamplay is what DQ Labs, DQ Edge is hosted on. You've seen DQ Edge. So Xamplay has been hosted from that. Xamplay is the winner of the NASSCOM Design for India Award 2019, and it's been founded by Umesh and Sean. And myself as well. I'm one of the co-founders of Xamplay. Just give me 1 second. There's a call coming in. Kateja. Sorry, I had to take that call. It was a very urgent call. But yeah, but I'm one of the founders of Xamplay as well. And we have Neha Joshi along with us here in this webinar. Neha Joshi heads DQ Labs in Nagpur. She's an interior architect and from CEPT. I don't know if you've heard of CEPT. It's one of the top design schools in India. Okay. Right. So So we've been doing online classes since 2006. We do live interactive classes. Some of you have attended these sketching classes live, aptitude classes live, and they're very interactive. We do personalized sketching feedback where you can upload your sketching like I showed you. And it's got the social features as well. I'll explain that in a bit. Um, we give you feedback on your aptitude as well. Um, and yeah, I'll just move on from there. Okay. So how do our live interactive online classes work? Really, it's the same format. Okay. Where our faculty comes online, they can talk to you. They share their screen. Um, the only thing is they are able to sketch as well, and whatever they sketch can be seen, so you can actually see what they've done. Okay, so these are our live interactive classes where we have classes for sketching, we have classes for aptitude, physics, chemistry, mathematics, and all you need is just this setup: an internet connection, a laptop, a headset. That's it, and we have a support team. All right. Now, coming down to the DQ Edge learning platform. Now, this platform has to be used along with your classes. Okay. Every time you sit for a class, it has to be used, and I will tell you how you need to plan yourself over the next couple of years. Okay, or next 1 year or 2 years. Right. So why I asked you in the beginning if you already have access to DQ Edge, it's because of this. Okay, all your content, whatever you need to study over the next 1 year or 2 years, is there on DQ Edge. Okay, whether it's learning, that is your aptitude, your content, your concepts, all of that is there on DQ Edge. Whether it's practicing your mock tests, your previous year question papers, um, sectional question papers, all of that is there on DQ Edge, and your sketch evaluation as well, where we have a method to evaluate your sketches and give you very specific feedback. So that is there on DQ Edge as well. So all of this is there in DQ Edge. If you are using DQ Edge, you do not need any other resource. Okay. So so yeah, that's what it is. Now, now I'm going to go through these three sections: learn, practice, and sketch evaluation. So I'm going to do this for you in in a little more detail. What is learn? Okay, learn contains all your theory, your quizzes, your videos, explanations for all topics, whether it's sketching, aptitude, or physics, chemistry, math. Okay, now I'll show you what learn sketching is. All right. So let me go to this page and let me click on learn. So once you come here to the learn page, okay, and again, whether you select NID or NIFT, there are different topics there. But interestingly, we have all the topics listed out in detail. Okay, so in this page, you have mental ability, analytical. So these are like subjects. Okay, mental ability, analytical reasoning, um, visual spatial ability, general knowledge, math, English, whatever the questions that have come in the past. Um, we have analyzed all the question papers in the past. We have categorized them into different levels of subjects, into topics and subtopics, right? So if you see mental ability, this is a subject. Mental ability itself is the subject. In mental ability, we have different topics, which is blood relations, coding, decoding, distance, all of this. And within this blood relations, we have all the subtypes, right? And then we have little quizzes and things like that. So now this is how DQ Edge is organized. And this is based on every past year question paper that's coming. Okay. Now, that is how this learn section is organized. But for your purpose, now we are talking about how you can prepare yourself in the next 2 years. Okay. What I need you to do and we're talking specifically the sketching. So what I needed to do is come down here to the sketching part, click on design sketching. Now, in design sketching, you have multiple things. You have your fundamentals, which is perspectives, which is shading, shadows, textures. This is perspectives. This is shading, shadows, textures, your human figures, animal figures, objects in perspectives. So all these are technical, very, very technical aspects of the sketching part of it. Now, once I understand perspectives, once I understand human animal figures, shading, shadows, textures, then I can try my hand at probably, no, and then I can also do interiors and exteriors. All these are fundamental. When I know all of that and all those concepts come together, that's when I can work on my theme sketch, right? So, so let me show you perspectives, for example. So in perspectives, you have the perspective basics, which is just some fundamental information. What is the 1 point perspective, 2 point, 3 point, some information with this and some videos as well, which you can go through. Okay. And for those of you who are students of DQ Labs, y'all should have seen this before. Have you all seen this?
And everything tends to vanish.
So,
And this vanishing point sits
So-
on
so you see this? So we have a recorded video to show you how this happened. So there's going to be two aspects. One aspect one.
the vanishing point and
Yeah. So aspect one is you're going to sit for a class. Aspect two is you're going to sit by yourself and study. Okay. And you're going to revise the same concepts in the class. So do you get that? Yeah. So this is how you use your classroom along with your content, your self-study content, and then of course there are some practice quizzes. Okay. Now this is as far as all your fundamentals go. All right. Sorry, this is as far as all your fundamentals go. Then you get on to your theme sketch. Once you understand the fundamentals, you click on your drawings, and even for theme sketch, we have a question, a sample drawing. You can try your own drawing, again a question and a sample drawing, and how this sample drawing was created, right? So this is also an interesting thing. So you have this aspect. You can see these videos, and let me just fast forward. Okay, so you can see how the actual sketch was done. Now this is where you use your concepts, your fundamental concepts of shading, your shadows, your textures, your human figures, animal figures, your perspectives, sense of perspectives. All that comes in when you draw a theme sketch, right? So that's why it's very important for you to learn the fundamentals first and then come on to this. And you see the detailing that he puts in, right? This is done by our faculty, Velu Kesavan. He's an art faculty who graduated from NSU Baroda, which is one of the top fine art schools in India, okay, if not the top. So I'm going to go a little faster and show this to you. See how he puts the details even up to the finger rings. You know, some carvings on that and embossments. So this is the level of work that you need to do. In the next 2 years, you should be able to do this, and not only do this, you should be able to do this within 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes. Okay, maximum time is 20 minutes with which you need to be able to do this. Of course, that's not a thumb rule, but then there are a lot of similar images. Okay, interior with the sketch. So this is how you prepare for your sketching part of it. This is how you learn sketching. Okay. Now, how fast you go through this is up to you and depends on how much time you have for your exam. Okay. Typically, what we do is we have sketching classes once a week for you guys. the classes will be completed in full from June till October. Okay, the entire thing is going to be done once from June to October. Those who join now get all the additional classes. So if you join now, these are all additional classes. Post October, again, you get improvement classes. So it depends. Then it depends if you're in class 11 or class 12. Those who are in class 12, then they need to attend the crash courses again so that your mind is refreshed. Those who are in class 11, you'll take it easy for the next 1 year or so. And you'll repeat the cycle. Okay. The idea is you utilize your time to the maximum because there is always a start, there is no end. Okay. You can always improve upon your schedule. Now I'll come to learning aptitude. Okay. So learning aptitude is here. For example, let's take mental ability. Like I showed you how this is a subject, how you have multiple topics within the subject and subtopics. Okay, so that's the second thing. And now let me show you how it's organized. Okay, and I'm going to take one of the tougher things for you to remember, which is say something like famous artists and their work. Very often you get these kind of questions. Okay, and let me click on Indian artists and their work. Now we have so many of these topics which are Indian artists and their work, one, two, and different types of work, one different types of paintings. Very, very interesting stuff. But the thing is, when you're sitting in the exam hall and trying to recall, someone has their mics on. Okay, right. So when you have an artist and something about the artist and their work, okay, now this is another artist and her work, right? This is a third artist and their work. Now what happens here is you're actually seeing how this artist, you're seeing a pattern here. There is a method to his madness, right? His style is very different from the next artist's style, right? This is a lot of portrait and people and things like that. So what you need to do, the colors, the themes, the different types of artwork done by different artists is what is there, well organized and well documented. Okay, so sometimes during the exam, there's a lot of pressure. You're not able to recollect the name of the artist. You may be able to recollect the style. So why we put this here is so that you can not only understand about the artist, you can check out their styles. You can understand that and use that as a recall value, right? So this is how you can learn not only sketching but also aptitude. All right. So this is now over the next 12 months or 18 months. This is another thing. In fact, if you are in class 12, you just have 6 months to learn the sketching and the aptitude. It is not too much of time. Please do not think you have sufficient time. Okay. The sense of urgency has to come in now. If you are in class 11, then you have 1 year and another 6 months, so 1.5 years. So you are in a much more comfortable position. Make use of your time wisely. Okay. Right. Now, when you complete the learn section, now you do not need to say, let me finish the learn section first, then I'll go to the practice. Okay. This is something you need to be very careful of. Your practice starts from day one. And that's the reason why I told you, please take the mock test. Take a full length mock test. Stick to the 3 hour time limit, whatever it is. If your sketches are good, your sketches are bad, your sketches are ugly, don't worry. That's not the point. The point is to see in the 3 hours, what are you capable of doing? Okay. So you take that right now, do one test, and then over the next couple of months, 2, 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, you do a few more tests. and you use that as a framework for your improvement. All right. That's what you need to do. Now, let me come down to the practice session. Now, in the practice session, we have multiple things. We have past year question papers. Okay, and if you see, there are NID BDES papers, UCEED papers, MDES papers, SEED papers, right? Uh, One important thing to note, whether you're answering the NID UG paper or the PG paper, the quality of what is expected of you is the same. There is no difference in quality. The type of questions that come is similar. There is no difference in that. So if you are a UG student that is trying for UG, take the PG papers as well. It will help you out tremendously. Okay. Um, Now we have the same past year question papers. Sorry, so you literally have so many mock tests to prepare for. You can, there are, those are past year question papers and these are mock tests. Okay, there are so many mock tests for you as well. So please take these mock tests as well, and you have these past year question papers. Now, what we mean by past year question 805 past year question papers is that um, we've taken all these past year question papers, we've dissected every question paper, separated them, the questions, into topics, and what we've done is those topic based questions we've put here. So if you come here and take this test, all these 27 questions have come in some previous year question paper, all of these. Okay, no experimental questions here, only actual questions. All right. Now the next thing is these 501 questions. These are sets of 50 questions each. Every one of these are practice questions, not come in the paper before, but incidentally, after we put the questions here, these questions have come in the paper. Okay, so these are very good quality questions, very good quality, very high level quality of questions, which you can expect. So we call these as predicted questions. Okay. Similarly, let me go to the NIFT. Here you have the mock test, NIFT mock test. You have NIFT past year question papers, and past year question papers formed differently, and past year question papers topic wise. All right. Now, right. So this is what you need to know. Okay. So now, whatever you're preparing for, you need to focus on this in a long term. You need to distribute your time to ensure it's now. It is not only that you take this question and you take this question paper and you answer the question paper. That is not the point. The point really is to learn from what you learn from the mistakes you've made, right? So what you need to do, you need to go understand how you've done in this question paper, have a look at the answer explanations. Okay. There is, what is the question, how many you got right, how many you got wrong, what is the answer explanation. So all of this. Okay. And very important, there is discussion. Many of these have external links. You need to go through this. Now, dissecting your question paper after you've taken the test is more important than actually taking the test, because that is what is going to help you. Okay. um, so say this question. Okay, this is a question, what is a quatrefoil? This is the right answer, B. Okay, B is a quatrefoil, and these are the external resources that you can come to understand this in a little more detail. So you need to go through these external resources, right? It's not that you just take it up and say, oh, okay, this is a quatrefoil. You need to get into the details, understand shapes, geometry. Only when you go through this, you are really preparing yourself over the next 2 years or 1 year. Now, this is the level of preparation that you need to have. All right. So, what I've done is I've shown you what you have here in the practice section, all the types of question papers, and um, the types of questions that you've got. Okay. Now, interestingly, we have something called practice, which is taking your mock test, and which says accelerate your learning. What do we mean by accelerate your learning? This is important, and this is a key uh, thing for you to understand. Now, generally, when you take a mock test, it gives you your feedback, how many right, how many wrong, and how many not answered, right? What does that tell you? That tells you, okay, this is what I've studied, and this is now I've tested myself, and this is how much I've learned. So now I need to study more, right? But that will only help you study not with a very focused manner. So what we have done is we have broken up this study pattern to give you very specific insights on what specific topics you need to study. Okay, nothing in general, very specific information we're giving you. And as part of this, we're giving you three sets of insights. One is your true score, which is your current level of preparation. Then we are giving you your preparation strategy insight, which is from now till your exam. I have 6 months, I have 18 months, right? In this time, what should I do? What specific topic should I study? Okay, that's the second set of insight. And the third set of insight is the attempt strategy insight. So you're sitting in the exam hall, you're looking at your questions, you're wondering, should I answer this or should I hold this question for later? Okay, so that's what you're supposed to do. So that's the third thing that we tell you. We help you make that decision while you're sitting in the exam set. Okay, but this needs practice. So let me show you one of the tests that I've taken. And please don't look at my marks; they're terrible. But I'm not taking the test. It's you guys who are taking this test. Okay. So I will go through one of my papers. Okay, I'm gonna click on this. And my marks are pathetic. Okay, so out of the 120, I've scored only 8. All right. Now, what I come to know is, okay, fine, I haven't scored much in this at all. So let me do one thing. It's not a very good example to give. Let me search for one of the papers I've done so that I'm just pulling up this my performance so that all right. So let me come to this because that's not loading yet. Okay. So I've taken one test and this is my score. Okay. So I've scored a 26 out of 120. But if you notice here, it's telling me my true score is 22, not 26. Now let me understand this in a little better manner. So my 26 marks comes from this approach. Okay, or let me do one thing. I think I'm just having trouble. Looks like my internet is a little slow, so I'll need to go back on this. I'm sorry, I'm searching for some slide because this page isn't loading. I've not had a very stable internet connection. I'm sorry, this is something happening. Okay. The slide which I wanted is not showing here. Okay, so what I wanted to show you is the way we take a test, a mock test on DQ Edge. Okay, there are, if you are looking at a question, okay, there are only three ways to look at any question. All right. Let me just. There's a slide I'm looking for which is not here for some reason, and I'm not able to access it from here. Okay. So whenever you take a mock test and answer a question, there are only three ways that you could answer this question. The first way is you look at the question and you instantly either know the answer, like what's the capital of India? You either know the answer or you don't know the answer, right? So that's your first way. You look at the question and you don't even need to look at the answer option. Or I can ask you a question, what is Pythagoras theorem? Okay. So you know the answer. You don't even need to look at the answer options for that. Okay. Um, so that's one. Or you where you either know the answer or you know what formula to apply, and you apply the formula and get that answer. So that is your method one. That is using your knowledge or using your formula. All right. The second method is I look at the question. I'm not very sure what the answer is. I'm not very sure which formula to use. So let me look at the answer options, and from there, let me work backwards. So that's your second method of answering a question, right? The third method of answering the question is you look at the question, you're not able to answer. You look at the answer options, you're still not able to get the answer. So the third option is randomly guess, right? That's your third option. Now, what happens in DQ Edge? We have invented something called multi-dimensional MCQs. Okay. Finally, my test has opened up. So let me show you what this is. Okay. Now, here is a question. Okay. Like I mentioned, there is only three ways of answering this. One is I look at the question and I know what the answer is. Okay. The second thing, I look at the question, I'm not sure, so I look at north, it cannot be north. I look at south, not possibly. So between east and west, and I'll select west. And the third method is that either ways I'm not able to make out, so I will randomly guess. Now that is something what we called as multi-dimensional MCQs, which is a DQ Labs invention. And let me show you how we capture that information. In any of the mock tests that you take, you'll only see one question, four answer options on the submit button. But for us, the submit button breaks up into three, which captures the method you have used to answer this question. So in this case, say I've used my knowledge. In the next case, say I use my, I don't know this answer, so I'm randomly guessing it. In the third case, say I'm using elimination as an option, right? So I just keep going on doing this, but where the magic happens is in my analytics, okay? So what happens is in my analytics, I still get um, I still get this information, which is how many right, how many wrong, how many not answered, what is the right answer, what is the answer explanation for that, how did I do overall, all this I get, okay, standard information. But because of that answer input system, we get another set of analytics, a whole new level of analytics, which is this, okay. So I the first thing is I understand that even though that I could have scored 120 marks, I've only scored 26 marks. And from this 26 marks, I've scored a good some marks using knowledge, about 14 marks using knowledge. I've scored about 8 marks using elimination, which is 22. And I've scored another 4 marks through randomly guessing. So even though I just randomly guessed, I still scored 4 marks, right? So that's the kind of information that we bring out to you. But we say that your true score is 22 and not 26 because those 4 marks are bonus marks. Okay, you could have got it right, you need not have got it right, but that's what you need to do. Now, alarmingly, if I use my knowledge, I should have got all the questions right, but I got 13 out of the 20 questions wrong. So that is alarming, right? So I'm bringing that to your notice. What I'm saying is those topics are the dangerous topics which you should put more attention to because you think you know that topic, but you actually do not know it. Okay, that is the critical part of this format, right? The second part is elimination, which is again I've answered 12 questions and 16 questions and I've got 4 right, which is fair enough. Not good yet, but fair enough. And random choice is never a good option, right? So we break up your information like this into your true score. We tell you how you've done in the test, in that particular test for that subject. We tell you how much you covered in general and how much you need to study. We give you some time-based analytics. All of this is absolutely critical information for you to study. Okay. Right. And now comes the set 2 insights, which is your preparation strategy insights, which is critical. Now, this is what you need to do in the next 6 months or in the next 12 months to maximize your score. So in order of priority, please understand order of priority is critical. You have limited time. In that limited time, you need to make sure that you're studying effective things effectively. So what happens is you get these red cards which you need to study immediately. You need to get the orange cards which you need to study as soon as you're done with the red card. And finally, you're already an expert in the green topics, so do not study these green topics again. Okay. So that's the breakup of how we do it. So now in this case, all these questions, these 13 questions which I got wrong are over here, the topic, and I need to focus on these topics. Okay. And the second thing is all these 7 questions, these topics associated with the 7 questions are here. And finally, the questions which I got right, all those topics are here, which I don't need to study. This is how I've done in the test in subject-wise spread, and that is the critical thing you need to know. And the third thing is your exam strategy insight, your attempt strategy insight, which is you are sitting in the exam hall. Should you be answering these questions? If you get anything from these green topics, answer them immediately. You are an expert. You will get these questions right. And you will use the least time to get these questions right. So that's what we mean by expertise. Okay. On the other hand, you get questions from these red topics. Question mark. You may not have too much of expertise over this. You may waste time spending your precious time on answering these questions. So hold these questions for later. flag them, hold them for later. Your next priority should be these orange topics, which is what you have to attempt immediately after you attempt the green topic. So we're not only giving you a strategy, what topics you should be studying over the next 6 months or 18 months, but we are telling you during the exam also what you should be studying. Okay, and these are critical aspects for you to understand and help you. Okay, now yeah, another thing you need to do is you need to click on learn. Okay, very important. And you need to come down. You see this this graph, the spider graph. This is how much I have covered, but I'm not taking the test. It is you who's taking the test. So this is the graph of one of our students, Nidhi, who has done pretty much everything. Okay, and this is how your graph should look like, not the way I have done it. Okay, now more importantly, um, you also need to reach out to your teachers. It is not sufficient that you just attend your class. It is not sufficient that you study by yourself, but you need to reach out to your teachers to get some level of insights as to how you can prepare. Okay, and you need to fix up a time with your teachers. Now, let me show you what insights your teachers get. Okay, because what insights your teachers get would be a little different from what insights you get as a student. Okay, now this is how we have enabled our faculty to teach you better. Okay, this is very important. Now a faculty can pick out any classroom and any topic what they teach. Okay, for example, let me show you this. I will pick out my maybe Jayanagar classroom. Okay, and I will pick out maybe visual spatial ability, and I'll look at the performance of my class, right? So one thing I know that this is how my students have taken across various quizzes, across various mock tests. This is the performance of my students in general. This is how they have done in each topic. And I know how many students have attempted each of these topics. So I know that, I need to tell my students do this next or work on this next. Okay. So that's what I know as a faculty. But more importantly, I can look at my students, how they're performing in this class. So visual spatial ability, okay, my students are doing pretty well, but some students are excelling. Now let me click on this button on this dark blue and see who the students are that are excelling. Okay, so I know that these are the students that are excelling. These are the students that are doing fairly okay. They're safe and fairly okay. But I know that these are the students who are lagging behind. Okay, so you need to reach out to me if you need feedback. Please reach out to your counselor, say that you need to understand where you need to do better. Your counselor would be able to help you out, the faculty would be able to help you out. So you need to reach out to them. They have access to this, they know where exactly you stand. Also, if our faculty need to teach a topic again, I know that my students are proficient in these green topics, so this is not what I need to do. I need to teach these topics again because this is where my students are not doing their best. Okay. Whereas, say I pick out a subject like mathematics, I know that a lot of my students are struggling with maths. Okay. So I know specifically which topics to teach first, which topics to teach next, and finally which topics to work on the last. Okay, so this is the way we have enabled our faculty to teach. I'll bet you will not see this in any other platform, in any other coaching center, in any, whether it's NATA, JEE Mains, engineering, medicine, any exam. This is what you will not see, that a faculty is enabled to this level. All right. So coming back to this presentation, we have this topics, we have the performance of every individual student, we have the performance of, we know who those students are, we know what to teach, which topic to teach, we know how our students are performing across various tests. Similarly, for the sketching part of it, when now I asked you to take a sketch, okay, and what you will do is you will come to the sketching section, you will have a look at the question, you will have a look at what you're going to be evaluated on, and you're going to do your work and you're going to upload your sketches. Okay, now what happens when you upload your sketch? Let me show you what happens. I see a hand raised. Are you guys following me? I'm not getting any questions. You can ask me, feel free to ask me questions in the way, in the middle. I will answer these for you. But let me show you what happens when you upload a question. And I've uploaded a random, somebody else's drawing. This is not my sketch. But few things happen, okay? One is you get this panel. And the second thing is you get this panel. It becomes visible, okay? Now, I'll explain to you what these panels are. So first thing is when you upload this, you rate yourself, okay? You are a student. You rate yourself on this. Right. So you can rate yourself on this. What happens here is, say something like a wow factor, okay? It's, you need to look at yourself from the point of view of a faculty. A faculty is correcting hundreds of papers, right? So it's a monotonous job. So you need to do a sketch which is outstanding, which catches their attention, which says, wow, this is something that grabs my attention, right? That is wow factor. Now, whenever you evaluate yourself, you need to put yourself in the shoes of a faculty and give yourself a rating to understand how you have done. Similarly, the faculty will rate you. Now, your challenge is in seeing how the faculty has rated you, how you have rated yourself, and are you thinking in line with the faculty? That is the challenge, right? Because if you can put yourself in the shoes of a faculty, then your job is done. Because then you know where you can give yourself points, where you lose points, where you need to improve, what topics you need to study on. That is the insight that you will get yourself. All right. That is the critical piece of information that we need you to get. Now, let me show you an example of this sketch. Okay. So this student has done a sketch and she's rated herself, extremely high on various parameters. Okay. Um, and one second. So this student has given herself a 40 and on 40 rating, but her expert has given her a 20 on 40 rating. So really what she needs to do is have a look at her work, have a look at the expert's work, and then kind of figure out uh, where she needs to improve on her skills, right? That is the only way you can improve yourself. Also, what happens is, like I showed you how you look at, so that is one thing, okay, where the student has not only rated herself, the student has rated, the expert has rated herself. So expert has said 4 out of 10, she said 10 out of 10, right? So this is where you need to understand the difference. Okay, I see a hand raised. Right. So this is a critical thing that you need to understand. I'm going to close this. The moment you upload your sketches, we have the social drawing, which means you can see what other students have done for a similar performance. for the similar question, and you can take it as it comes, right? So that is the level of preparation that we give you and the level of feedback that we give you for your sketching. Okay. Right. And now you need to take this and this feedback, and over the next 2 years, go back, study the subjects over the next 6 months, over the next 18 months. You need to go back, go through all of this information and redo everything. Okay. So finally, I hope you have found this useful. Did you get an idea of how you need to utilize your time over the next 6 months or 18 months? Yeah, I'm looking for questions. So Yash says yes. Do you have any other questions? Arya says yes. So can you type in your name? If you are not a student of TK Labs, could you please type in not a student so that I get an understanding of who's a student and who's not a student? If you are not a student, please type in not a student. Okay. All right. And which year are you taking the NATA test? You can write that out. Okay. Oh, sorry, not necessarily NATA. All the right. Okay. Any other question? Do you have questions so that I could answer your questions for you? Has this presentation been useful to you for understanding? Did you find this useful? Has it given you a little more clarity as to how you should be preparing? Even students of DQ Labs, I need you to answer this because it gives me an idea. Yeah. So the next step, what I want you to do is um, reach out to us. Okay, those who are not students of DQ Labs, please reach out to us. Please, we are located in multiple cities, multiple locations in each city. Uh, Feel free to take it down. You need to reach out to me. I'm available on the first number 959 100 1000. Occasionally, I mean, I'm intermittently looking at that phone. So please reach out to that. Otherwise, if you want a faster response, please reach out to all our centers at Indranagar, I mean, in Bangalore, Pune, Chennai, Thrissur, Nagpur, Hyderabad, all across. You could reach out to us. Any more questions? So, as an action point, number one, what I want you to do is all of you, students of DQ Labs, not students of DQ Labs, number one point, come here, come to DQ Edge, select your course, maybe NID. If you're taking NID, I want you to click on the past year question papers, click on this link, reach out. Once you upload your sketches, reach out to us, to anyone here, and tell them specifically, I need my sketch to be evaluated. I need my sketch. I need feedback on that. It's very important for me. Please ask for that feedback. Okay. That's the only way you can do better. So I'm looking forward to you reaching out to us and asking for us for feedback so that we can help out. All right. Right. So thank you so much for being part of this. Any questions? All right. Ruchita, good. I need your feedback like this. I will give you a call. I will talk to you. It's very important for me to understand what happened so I can talk. Which class you will now, Ruchita? NID 2021, right? In fact, Ruchita, please, at the end of this conversation, please uh, give me a call. Okay, give me a call because I would like to have a chat with you. All right. Anybody else has a question? No? All right. So then we'll end our webinar here. Thank you so much for being part of this, and stay home and stay safe. Goodbye. Ruchita, it is 959 100 1000. Okay. Thank you so much. And I'm looking forward to speaking with you guys. Okay. Goodbye.